Thank you all for coming. It's good to have you all here. We are 6 days away from victory. I'm claiming it right now. First thing is, when I sat down after we decided to come together, I mentioned to Damar and Ronnie that I view Abla as a person that a lot of young people followed, identified with, idolized, and they looked up to. And she was a godsend to my campaign because every week she had something positive to say, and I just viewed her as a true asset to mine, and I knew that she would bring that to Ronnie's campaign. So I want to thank her for being gracious enough to allow us to come into her hair salon on a busy night. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, and this isn't a big word for that hyperbole or exaggerated talk, we're probably in the fight of this community's life right now. This is a very serious matter at hand. We have a choice between one candidate that is of the people, who comes from humble beginnings, has not forgotten that, and has made a sincere and hard effort to reach out to all aspects of the community, to hear their concerns, to offer himself to them and make an attempt to win their vote. And then we have one candidate that we have not seen, who does not come around, who chooses to sit on for granted. I believe the choice is a clear and easy. Do you want someone who is of you, who considers your wishes, who considers your desires, who wants to get your input and will do the things necessary to win your vote? Or do you want someone who's going to ignore you now and will likely ignore you then? Now, I've heard some of the things that have been said that he's come around and said that he's going to do now. But I believe, like James Baldwin once said, I cannot believe what you say because I see what you do. And the proof is in the pudding. It is there right now. We ran my campaign, a hard campaign. We campaigned hard, we campaigned fair, and we had a contentious campaign between, I viewed my opponent to be Ronnie Sabb. Everybody else was a distant second. But we had that campaign. And unfortunately we came up short. But my campaign will not allow itself to get caught up in the emotions of losing. Sometimes you lose and you still win. And the other thing is the most important thing is to see the big picture. It is not about Caesar McKnight. It's not about my family. It is about District 32. And it is about who we believe to be the person to be most interested in seeing District 32 develop, grow, and become a place that we can be proud of. So, I'm telling you this. We've got some heavy lifting to do in the next 6 days. What do we have to do? We have to talk to our friends and our neighbors. We have to tell them, one, you need to vote on Tuesday, September 16th. Okay? If you can't vote that day, you need to get down there now. It does not matter if you did not vote on September 2nd. You can vote now. Okay? Don't put it off, because you know how we leave everything to the last minute. Oh, it's 4:30, I'm going to wait. So 4:30, September 16th, I'm going to get down there. Well, you might get a flat tire. You might do whatever. And as you can see in the margins of my elections, every vote counts. Every last one. So you can't leave it to your friends to do. You can't hope it. You can't wish it. You must make it happen. You must vote. Now, there's a clear contrast between the candidates. There isn't any equivocation in who you should support. If you believe in a level playing field for everyone, Ronnie Sabb is your candidate. If you believe in access to the playing field for everyone, Ronnie Sabb is your candidate. I've known him for 25, 26 years, and we've had that student-teacher relationship. I've learned a lot from him along the way. I am where I am today in part of where it is as to what he did. I saw one of his speeches when we were still in the thick of things, and he laid out quite nicely all of the lawyers that have come through his practice and all of the opportunities that he's presented to people, and it's true that he has. He has shown himself willing to reach back and give people an opportunity to get to where they want to be via him, and that speaks volumes of him. So what I'm telling you now is, don't take this for granted, because if we lose this one, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you now, the last senator we had at least would talk to us. The last senator he had would at least come in our community. This one acts as if he doesn't know where we live. So, do not take this for granted. This is about the future of our communities. This is about the futures of this district. And let me just say this. Most important, not most important, but really important, this is the time when we can have the first African-American senator since Reconstruction. For those of you that may not know what that is, after the Civil War, they had to rebuild the South, and there was a time when black people really got a chance to vote, and they voted in their people, and this was during the 1870s and 80s. And that last one we had, that was the last one in the 1880s, or I'm sorry, the 1870s. Since the 1870s, 140-something years, we have not had one. Why is that? We're the majority of this district. So it's time for us to step up and be responsible. It's time for us to put the pettiness of disappointment and your own self-interest aside. It's time for us to see the big picture. It's time to adopt a spirit of love. It's time to adopt a spirit of togetherness. So I'm asking you to please, on September 16th, or any day before then, there's 2 names on that ballot. You only need to be concerned with one, and that's Ronnie Sabb. Thank you so much.
I really just want to stand up and say thank you and then sit back down. I believe he really has covered it all. And let me also express my appreciation to you, Abla, and everybody else for the opportunity for us to just gather together for a brief moment or two. Let me say this. Caesar made a statement, and I really think that perhaps he fails to appreciate how significant the statement he said was. When he said, sometimes you lose but you gain. I can't tell you all how many calls I've gotten from Columbia. I'm talking about legislators that looked at the way that he has handled himself in this whole thing. I can tell you, you now have the respect of many folks in Columbia. I can't think of a better way to consider him that way. I think when we look at campaigns, everything that we go about the business of ought to be about the business of building us. And I really mean from the bottom of my heart when I've said a couple of times that I know that I am a better individual as a result of this journey. I'm a better legislator, and I've learned quite a bit. One of the things that I want young folks to know is that I get it. When Caesar and I are challenging each other along the way, and he mentions this notion of our young children not being able to come back home, you might be interested in my story, where when I graduated from Voorhees College back in 1980, and I tried to find a job. I mean, I never wanted to go any place but be home, and I couldn't find a job. And after going through some things, well, you know, I was a proud young man. I was 22 years old. My family never had anything. I think some of you know about our humble beginnings in terms of Well, do you know about our humble beginnings?
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody know about our humble beginnings?
Yeah.
All right, we'll fast forward. But I really want to share that we could not find a job when we had finished up at Voorhees College. Now, I was the vice president of the Student Government Association, having been voted by the entire body. I mean, I was the second guy in charge. I was the bossmanist of our fraternity chapter. I mean, I was the first guy in charge. So I was satisfied that I had leadership abilities leaving Voorhees College. And then I come home and I can't find a job. I mean, I got to ask my mom and dad for money. That's a humbling experience if you really think and consider yourself a man. And so then, you know, there was this one person, my grandmother, that I could go to and talk when I get just a wee bit down. And I remember the third or fourth time going to talk to her, and I know some of you might be tired of hearing this, but I really want the young folks to know that she had a dream about me. And her dream was that I would leave home and move to Florida, and that life after that would be fine for me. And so there I was, never wanting to leave home, but being forced to. Why? Because I couldn't find a job. And so I get that. I got that as your House of Representative member. I get that as your senator. And that has to be one of the things that we commit ourselves to. I mean, Adam Clayton Powell said it best years ago, y'all, when he said that communities like ours suffer from the absence of their own. I mean, that's what he's talking about. Us growing up, caring about our community, not being able to stay here and going elsewhere because we're looking for opportunities. We are looking for that American dream that we are all entitled to become a part of. And the question continues to be, can the American dream be lived here? Those of us who are committed to service, we have to be believers that together we can bring about the kind of change that makes all of that possible, not in New York City, not in Charlotte, North Carolina, but in this place called Williamsburg County. We've got to commit ourselves. But I think, again, Caesar is correct when he talks about this defining moment that we all find ourselves in. There is a clear choice.
Yes.
There's a clear choice. And I believe we see where the two roads lead.
Yes.
I'm not convinced that our friends and neighbors that are like us appreciate where the roads lead.
Yes.
So for those of us who have been given eyes to see, minds to understand, we simply have an obligation to share with those who would simply say, I'm going to make the money. You know, I will do what I can because I'm going to make the money, so I'm going to the other side because there is money to be made. We have sold ourselves short so many times.
Yes.
And I really believe that when you look at the money to be made, they're talking about a few $100s.
Yes.
Yes.
Not millions.
Yes.
A few $100.
Yes.
Sometimes less.
Yes.
Sometimes less.
Yes.
The question sometimes is,
Yes.
the question sometimes is,
Yes.
how do we value ourselves?
Sales.
What is it that we hold true?
Yes.
Anytime a few dollars
Yes.
would allow us to go away from that which we are, there's something fundamentally wrong with us.
Yes.
And so for those who are unwilling to check themselves, we simply have an incredible obligation.
Yes.
We have an incredible obligation that tied in with an incredible opportunity.
Yes.
Y'all, I'm excited about the opportunity.
Yes.
I've got to confess,
Yes.
I have no idea
Yes.
where our road will lead.
Yes.
What I do know is that our heart is simply in the right place.
Yes.
I know that we are guided by the right source.
Yes.
And so when you put those two things together, we don't know what tomorrow brings.
Yes.
But we know who continues to hold tomorrow.
Yes.
And so all we got to do is continue to trust in Him
Yes.
and stay focused and do those things that we're able to do. And
Yes.
so we are at 6 days
Yes.
and counting.
Yes.
I committed myself at the beginning of this campaign that no one who is around will work any harder than our work. I say that in the presence of new ears at this point. Those of you who will join us in this mission, just understand that when Ruby McKnight works all day and she's tired because she's taken 24 people to the polls, that's hard work. But Ruby, you're not going to outwork me. I'm telling you that. You will not outwork me. And so I think if we all give it all we got, at the end of the day, at 7 o'clock on September the 16th, we will all be able to look in the mirror and say to that person that we see, we gave it our all. It is no longer in our hands now, it's in the hands of somebody else, but each and every one of us have given our all. And thank you all for giving your all.
I would like to thank DeMar for asking me to come to my friends, colleague, Civic McKnight, wonderful race ran, my friend and colleague, mentor, teacher, all that stuff, Mr. Ronnie Sabb. I think you do a wonderful job as a senator. I have the same sentiments as both. As I stand here and I see Mr. Dorsey from the Boys and Girls Club, and I see these young people running around, sometimes we get a message that we don't intend to get. And that's our future is staring us right in the face. And this moment, this present moment is about their future. And as young people, we stand in a very particular place where we stand between the civil rights generation that fought for the right to vote. And we stand in the midst of the future of these young people and providing them with a life here in Williamsburg County. There is no doubt in my mind that we can do that. We can start the path with Mr. Sabb. We can place him in the Senate. We can get the ball rolling to see that this generation does what it needs to do to start the forward progress that this area needs to have. And I hope that individuals like Mr. Dorsey and Ms. Hammond and Ms. Pearson and Mr. Roberts and Mr. McKnight and Ms. Midnight and any of the other young people here don't make this the last time that we come together just for this purpose. We have to start getting together on a more regular basis and start putting forth some of the interests that we know, how you doing, that we know and we deserve to have put forth. And so I challenge you that after we get done putting Mr. Sabb in the House, in the Senate, we did the House a couple years ago. But after we get him in the Senate, I challenge you to let's stay together. Let's continue this conversation. I would love for us to be able to push Mr. Sabb further in pushing the interests of District 32 further. So thank you.
Thank you, Abla, for allowing us to come into your facility for this evening. Thanks to everyone for coming out. Like Caesar and Mr. Ronnie both said, we have 6 days. I would like to challenge everyone that has social media to please post comments, encourage your Facebook friends, encourage those that have second thoughts about voting again on September the 16th. The same conversations I've had with them, I've said, well, you have family members that live here. There are children that are related to you that lives here. What about their future? You know, let's think about the bigger picture like Caesar said. It's no longer about just us. No little eyes, no big T's, it's us. We're in it to win it. Sad for Senate, that's the only thing that's been going on through my mind. I've been dreaming about it at night, so we gotta make this happen. Everybody, I challenge everyone, like Ms. Ronnie said about Ms. Ruby, take someone to the polls. They may not have a ride. Encourage them, hey, come on, I'll take you out there. Or hey, you want something to eat? Let's stop by the poll first. I don't know, you just gotta get them to the poll. Like I said, use your social media, get them out here. encourage them, let them know the importance of voting. Like Tia said, this is a historical moment that we can make in Waynesburg County, in District 32. We got Georgetown, we got Berkeley, we got parts of Oregon, we got parts of Florence. It's not just us. We have to consider everyone and the lives of our children. My daughter is 5, and I want her to know, hey, we put up a fight, and this is what we've done to pave your future. Abla has a son. Felicia has kids. Tiffany has kids. Solana. All of us have children. Let's show them. Let's make them proud of District 32.
I just want to say thank you, Abla, for hosting this. Thank you, Damar. Thank you, Representative Sabb and Attorney McKnight. I really think it's a big thing, guys, for all of us to be in here, because we already know that people are looking for us to be divided. And I want to say, I feel like I'm speaking to the choir. What we have to do is actually go out to people who feel some type of way and really talk to them and let them know that we are here together as one for one mission and one people, one district. And the thing is, if we're really going to win this, we can't be afraid to get into the faces of people who are against us. And to really show them why it is that we believe this, show them why this is the better way, and really convince them that we are really one team. Though we may have been separated in the past, that we are actually together now. Because we really see the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is a better community for everyone that falls under District 32. So, I just want to say, preach to the choir. But really, guys, people that you've been working with, that you see every day, that you hear stuff, because I know you hear it, I hear it. People come to me and they question me. They don't come to me, they hit me on social media. It is your right to correct them. It is your right to inform them of the truth. And once you have done that, if they still go to the other side, at least you have done what you were supposed to do. There you go. So I encourage move District 32 forward.